Italian famous quote written by Virginia Woolf states, "One cannot think well, love well, and sleep well if one hasn't eaten well," is a classic saying many Italians use for their food traditions, such as for Italian Sunday dinners. Every Sunday after church, traditional Italian families come together and share memories along with their tasty food to one another. I'm 100% Italian, and I've been brought up to this tradition since childhood, using not only my personal experience of this culture tradition, but also the historical facts. I will be able to support my informational presentation. I will first discuss this cultural tradition's typical meal and what usually happened every Sunday. Next, I will explain how even in hard times the tradition was kept. And finally, I will talk about Italian Sunday dinners in today's modern families. So like every great Italian meal, we must prep ahead of time and get every ingredient before putting them all together for each dish. So let's first hit the grocery store by finding out what traditional Italian Sunday dinners entails. We all know Italians are known for their food, not only by their flavors, but also how overstuffed you feel when you finish an Italian meal. It isn't certain when exactly the tradition Italian Sunday dinners came about, but what we do know is the great food that was brought to the table and the memories of people that made the food. From the many versions of pasta dishes to which grandmother knew how to make the better meatball competition, every Sunday was a new journey. We can learn a lot about a culture based on just one evening. Amy McDonald Shakespeare in Pittsburgh Post-Gazette mentions in Craving Sunday Dinner Italian style that each week families and often extended families sat down together each afternoon for Sunday dinner, the largest and most elaborate meal of the week. This was true since typically Italians viewed Sunday the day of rest and the time to be together. I remember distinctly from my childhood my mom and my aunt in the kitchen cooking what seemed like forever, coming out with bowls and dishes of stunning creations I thought never existed. The food would be displayed as follows: gnocchi, ziti, stuffed shell, manigotti, capellini e aglio olio, and of course there was the simmered overnight sauce flavored with meatballs, sausage, and pork neck bones that my dad and his brother would fight over for. Not only was there good food, but great memories that came along with each meal. Whether it was talking up past week events or things coming up, there was never a silent moment in a room of Italians. Visiting relatives and close friends were more likely to share the table and Sunday dinner than for any other day, as said from Carolina's Post in Whatever Happened to Sunday Dinner. A sense of warmth and serenity filled the air when people got together. I have seen that grandparents gave a sort of positive vibe to every dinner. They would gather the little children while the food was being prepped and tell them the stories of war and their youthful glory days. Peggiorgolio mentions in her article A Tavola at a dinner table that the respect for elders was deeply ingrained in Italian children. If grandparents are present at the table, special attention and deference is always shown to them at meal times. They taught of life lessons, showed wisdom to the vulnerable boys and girls. Jokes and memories passed through every meal. The only moment of peace I remember from all the chattering was the aftermath of dinner and what we like to call food coma. Our every Sunday dinner was your once-a-year American meal. Even though it may seem that Italians had an endless supply of food, there was sometimes the well of the saucepot went dry. During World War II, and even after Italy, like other countries, suffered through some hardship, and there were pockets of near famine. But even throughout these difficult times, Italians still remained to the tradition of Sunday dinners. In those post-war years, a two-course dinner was the norm, but there was no luxury foods on the table, as said from Peggiorgolio in her article A Tavola at a Dinner Table. Even with this low shortage of food, having family and friends gathered is the true reason why Italians have Sunday dinners. This time was to cherish the times that had to bring in good from all the despair, giving hopefulness to those that had none. Times in Italy eventually improved, and of course America was a land of bounty, so that when Italians immigrated here to start a new chapter, Sunday dinners migrated with them. We live in a modern world disconnected in the digital age, world with busy schedules, as posted by R.L.X. Wilson in Sunday Dinner, a tradition worth giving back. With everybody in the family coming and going at different times and engaging in different activities, having a meal with more than one family member at a time is seen as something of a feat. The years have gone by, and the tradition, though it may be strong, can waver. I remember when I was little and didn't have such a busy schedule like I do today that I had the time to get together with the whole family. As Denise Lincoln posted in Giving Up Sunday Gravy, a lost food tradition, although I am fine not eating Sunday gravy each weekend, I realize that its absence is a reflection of how different family life is now. But even though the busy schedules, in our own way, we have our own take on the traditional Italian Sunday dinner. Maybe it's not dinner, and maybe not everyone can make it, but the times that we do come together, I will never forget. The family that was lost throughout the years will be remembered, stories will continue to be told, and memories will forever be shared. Denise comes into a realization in her post under Giving Up Sunday Gravy, a lost food tradition. I know, however, that although I love what Sunday gravy represents, it's not really a part of my life anymore. She realized that she doesn't need to meet the expectations of those from her past, but instead create her own in the present with her family. I've discussed this tradition's typical meal and what usually happened every Sunday. I then explained how even in hard times the tradition was kept, and finally I remarked on Italian Sunday dinners in today's modern families and how it was kept even if the tradition was changed a little to meet the needs of the busy schedules today. Whether you carry the same tradition like Italians or have your own, there is no strict rule or precise way to do it. The one important thing to know about traditions in each culture is that it can bring those that care about each other together.
Bravo, Cynthia.